Okay, this video is to hopefully help you with setting up solving equations on your final exam. Let me remind you that you want to make sure when you're just starting out to do a problem, that you've decided if it is an equation that you're asked to solve, or if you're just being asked to work on an expression, which would be not solving. So let's say the problem you've been given looks like this. And it says to solve the equation. As soon as you've decided that you are using, you have an equation and you're being asked to solve, you want to think of the three goals. The 3G. Power of the 3G. Three goals. The first goal is, let's go goal number one, is to simplify, and this is always, in solving an equation, start with goal one. Simplify each side of the equation separately. So in class we talked about putting a box around the side. That's a great idea. You don't have to. Just don't look at the other side. Look at one side at a time. And simplifying, in this case, is requiring us to do the distributive property, because we recognize that when there's a parentheses and inside the group there's a letter, and outside the group there's a factor to be multiplied, that's a case for distribution. So 3 times t is 3t, and plus 3 times 8 is 24. Now those two terms are not like terms. This is a term with a t in it, called a variable term. This is a term without a variable, so it's a constant. They can't be collected. We're done simplifying that side. Then we don't look at this side at all. We look to the other side now. And there's an expression that can be simplified, but there's no distributive property needed. There's no parentheses. But we could collect like terms. A 4 is a constant term, and a negative 5 is a constant term. That means they are like terms and can be collected. So 4 and a negative 5 is a negative 1. And we just bring the 8t term down with us, because we can't collect those. We're done with goal one, which was to simplify the two sides. Now we're ready to move on to goal number two, which is to gather the variable terms to one side and the constant terms to another side, the other side. Doesn't matter which side, but in class we decided that it comes out easier if we decide to move the variables to the side of the equal sign where the bigger coefficient is. So 8t is more than 3t. We're going to choose to put the variable terms on this side, and later we'll deal with the constants. So to get variable terms to only appear on this side, that means to remove them from this side, we have to take away the 3t term. So we only can gather terms by adding or subtracting the terms we want to move. And we subtract because that's the opposite there. And so what we do to one side, we do to the other. That's a guiding principle in all equation solving. So we bring the negative 1 down. 8t minus 3t leaves us a positive 5t. These are gone. That's 0. And bring your 24 down. Now we have successfully gotten t's to only show up on one side, but we have a constant on this side and a constant on this side. Since we decided to put our variables over here, we're deciding then by default to put our constants on this side. So I'm going to do the opposite of negative 1 and add a 1, so that there are no constants left over here on the left side. That's 0. Bring down the 5t, and this side's 25. Okay? Now, we're finished with goal 2. We've gathered all the terms to the point where we only have variable on one side, constants on the other. It's time to go to goal number 3, which is to divide by the coefficient of the variable. You see this 5t? That represents a 5 times t. And to get t alone, which is our ultimate goal, we have to break up that timesing there by dividing. The opposite is to divide, and what you do to one side, you do to the other. And so we get, that's 1t, or just t, equals 25 divided by 5 is 5, and we're finished. Now, if you can set your problems up in this very organized way, even writing goal 1, goal 2, goal 3 down, and every time you're solving, stick to that pattern, I think you're going to do really well. Good luck on the final. I'm rooting for you.